All right, number 9, we're going to find the average velocity for the given function. And so we're going to start just like before. We have this function s of t, and it is equal to 23 divided by t plus 1. And so we're going to evaluate 5 different functions. So we're going to go from 1 to 0. We're going to go from 0.5 to 0, 0.1 to 0, 0.01 to 0, and then 0.001, 0.001 to 0. So these are my denominators. So when I subtract all of these, we'll just have a function where we're dividing by 1, where we're dividing by 0.5, where we're dividing by 0.1, dividing by 0.01, and dividing by 0.001. So the bottom are just changing by powers of 10 after the second one. And then we have to find the y value. So we're going to find the y values by plugging in 0, 1, 0.5, 0.01, 0.001, and 0.001. And we're going to use technology again just to speed up that process. So we're going to go to y equal, clear out the previous function, and then we're going to do 23 divided by, now I know it says t plus 1, but our calculator inputs the variable x, so we're just going to say x plus 1. And then we go to graph. And then once we hit the trace button, it allows us to input function values. So right now it's already on 0, but if I were to hit 0, we can see that we get the y value of 23. So what that tells me is that each time we're going to be subtracting 23 as that 0, the value when x is 0, 23. And then we just have to find the corresponding y value to the other point. So if I type in 1, I will get 11.5. If we go to 0.5, we get 15.3 repeating. If we do 0.1, we get 20, and then 90 repeating. We do 0.01. We get 22, and then we get 7722 repeating. And then we do 0.001. And that gives us 22.977023. Sorry, 22, not 27, 22.977023. Okay, so now that we have these, we're going to subtract and then divide, and then we'll get our function values, and we can approximate the instantaneous rate of change. So we're going to do 11.5 take away 23, and if we divide by 1, we still get negative 11.5. And then if we do 15, it says round to 3 decimal places, so that'll be fine. So if we do 15.333 and then we subtract 23, we take this value and we divide by 0.5. And that gives us a negative 15.334. Alright, so our next value was 20.9090 repeating. So we have 20. And we're going to subtract 23. And that gives us negative 209. We're going to divide that by 0.1. That gives us 20.91, negative 20.91. And then we had 22, and then 7722 repeating. We're going to subtract 23, and we're going to divide by 0.01. That gives us 2278, negative 2278. And then our last value, we had 22,977. And then we're going to divide that by 0.001. And that gives us negative 23. So we can kind of see that each time the average rate of change or that velocity is approaching this negative 23. And so we'll type in these values. 15.334, 20.91, 22.78, and then negative 23. So maybe they don't like some of the rounding. That's the only thing I could say, because I didn't type all the values in. So the more times you round, the more it throws out the answer. So let me look at some of these a little bit more closely. So I'm going to say the negative 15 point, and I'm going to put a bunch of 3's in. And then we're going to subtract 23 and see if that changes anything. And then if I should have made this negative. Let me fix that. The 15 isn't negative, so let me delete that off. Okay, so I'll get this 7, and if I divide that by 0.5, maybe I can just change this to a 3. So that's one value that looks different. Oh, I got 13 as well, so I did mistype that. So let's make that correct. 15, and that we can also say 0.333 because that won't round up. And let's see, maybe that's the one that didn't come out right. Okay, and I'll check a couple more just to see. So all of them have repeating decimals, and again, if I round before I get to the end, it just throws it off. So let's check them all now. So we got 20 and then 90 repeating. So 20, and I'm going to just do several of them. 90, 90, 90, and we're going to subtract 23, divide by 0.1, and when rounded, that will be 2909. Okay, so yeah, all of these are going to be a little bit different. 9, 0, 9. And then the 22, and that was 7722 repeating. And I'm going to subtract 23, and we're going to divide by 0.01. I didn't even do anything. I just typed the 23 at the end, so let me make that again. 22.7722, 7722. Okay, subtract the 23, and then divide by 0.01. Alright, so yes, looks like the same. So give me 22. 77 and then a 2, so 22 772. So all my numbers are coming out just a little bit different, so that one looks like it should be good, but let's check this last one for good measure. So 22.977,023. We're going to subtract 23, and we're going to divide by 0.001, and that gives us 22.977. Alright, so we should be good there. And then the instantaneous velocity round to the nearest integer. So if I would round this number up as I'm getting closer, that's a negative 23. So very sensitive on the decimal places, be careful there.